Good morning, everyone. This is the man of thoughts, and I believe I am here for my audience and individuals who have been asking me questions about meditation. Now, before I proceed into the meditation practice, I would only want to give us few guidelines on some things. Now, in the idea of meditation, I wouldn't call myself a guru or professional or anything regarding meditation. In fact, I am a student of meditative practice. I've been doing this for over 7 years right now. And that doesn't mean I am in any stage or level. Here is what I would say. I made a decision to talk about this subject, meditation, simply because some of my audience have been asking, show us how you meditate. And I made a promise to them that I was going to make today, that tends to be Saturday, to teach people how to actually meditate. And I want you to also understand, first of all, that I am a Nigerian. And in Nigerian culture, we have different way of meditation. We have different way of doing things. And that goes into the aspect of the ifas and the rest of it. There are a lot of meditation, cultural part of Nigeria. But due to education and the rest of it, I hope my mic is working. Yeah. Due to education stuff, along the line, they've removed those meditative practice. And so we are left with the institutional way of thinking. But one way I've been able to learn how to meditate by watching, by doing a lot of things and putting things one way or the other. Here is what I want you to know. For those of you who are willing to learn how to meditate, there are few things you have to pay attention to. Trust me, this is my own property, and in every property I own, I make sure I plant trees there. But that doesn't mean that when you see people who meditate, they must have trees in their house. And so you see certain individuals who will start looking for plants to plant around there, and then they want to do namaste. That's not what meditation is about. Meditation is simply about you creating an awareness inside of you, or consciousness inside of you. Now, let me put it out to you all today. There is no professional as long as consciousness is concerned. There is no professional in meditative practice. It is a line that you have to build by yourself. And in the spiritual level, there is no classes in it. There's only growth in spiritual level. And so you can learn from whatever I have to say, and then you should learn from other people. But I want you to know the basic objective of why you are actually learning meditation. It is not so that you can stand in one particular position and do namaste, namaste, or stand in this place and act in a certain kind of way. What you are trying to do when you decide to meditate is that you are trying to call back consciousness and awareness inside of you. What is consciousness and awareness? Consciousness and awareness simply means that everything you do, you are aware that you are the one doing it. That means you are not being influenced by anything. You are holding yourself responsible. In fact, you know the reason why you are doing what you are doing, and you know the outcome of it before you even start it. Sometimes you might be seeking to learn, but the other one is that you might know exactly what you're doing, and it would come out slowly. What I mean by this is, when you are meditating, do not expect that one day you are going to transform, or you can start having knowledge through meditation. It is a growth, it's something that is most likely going to take time if you want to learn the meditative practice. So a lot of us need to be aware that when it comes to the aspect of meditation, we have to be able to understand that we would always be a student to meditation. We can never be professional on meditation, because in the spiritual level, there is no professional, there is simply growth. Now, I will tell you how I do meditate. I wouldn't be able to show you everything on how I meditate fully, simply because if I do, I would not be able to communicate with you. So I will just give you a few clips on how I do meditate. And if you try to practice it, that's fine for you. But trust me, like I said, there is no professional when it comes to meditative practice. What you are doing is you are building your consciousness and awareness gradually. And when you do it gradually, you are not supposed to force yourself to go there. What you are supposed to do is to be aware that you are growing, is to be aware of the things that you're doing. That is how I see meditative practice. Now, certain people, when they want to practice meditate, the first thing they do is they begin to show you all kinds of posture. Should I stand with one leg? Should I do my hand like this and the rest of it? No, that's not meditative practice. That's you just stretching your body. And now stretching of your body is also good, but it's to what level? Because when you stretch your body and you stretch your body, that is actually not meditation. That is an acrobatic person can stretch their body. Anybody can stretch their body. So meditative practice is not about stretching of your body. It's about calling the consciousness within yourself. Now, the secret behind me planting trees on every of my property is simply because there's a natural air that comes from nature through the trees that we all can breathe. And in today's world, we have ignored those things. We prefer to have ACs in our house, we prefer to have fans in our house and the rest of it. But there's an importance of having trees, because then you can breathe the real air. It looks as if I can call it in my own terms. Please forgive my term. I might call it organic breath when you have trees around you. And for the government to allow people to cut almost all the trees within a city, I do not think it is healthy, because then people are suffocating without them knowing that they are actually suffocating in their head. When you find yourself in a toxic environment, maybe due to excessive carbon. So meditation close to the tree simply means that you are breathing more of natural air within your lungs, and that can help you to be able to get to your conscious side. When you get there, you would now be aware of everything about you. Now, one of the breaths I do is I do what we call the breath walk. Part of the breath walk is that I breathe in deep and I breathe out hard. The idea of the breathing out is that I breathe out the carbon and I breathe in oxygen and I breathe out the carbon. Now, when you really want to breathe out carbon, you don't breathe out carbon through your nose, though you do, but not that much. But you can breathe it out from your mouth. That will make it come out fully. This is Salam Mondal. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. So what I mean is this. I start with the breath work, and the idea of the breath work is to relieve every stress, every anxiety, every weight that I have emotionally. It is easy for us to know when we put on heavy clothes. It is easy for us, and sometimes you may wear an heavy cloth on your body and you might not even be aware that the cloth is heavy. The same way we might have emotional load and we don't know we have emotional load. The idea of breath work is to indicate that there's an emotional load on us. In that, you call it anxiety, depression. You know, sometimes a lot of people would not know why they are not feeling too stable. Sometimes you need to do the breath work so you can be aware of where you really are emotionally. So I go like I breathe in, standing posture, and I breathe out with my mouth. It's simple. In and out. So you can repeat that over 40 times. You can repeat it 30 times. You can repeat it 50 times. But I would encourage, if you want to start, you can start with 30. Then you can increase it with 40. Now, when you keep doing this, breathing in and out, in and out. You are taking the breath while it's coming inside your lungs, you're taking it to your stomach and you're breathing out the carbon through your mouth. So you must feel it. I'm not saying you must, but when you start, you can try it with little bit of progress. You can be able to start feeling your tummy. So the idea is breathe in, breathe out, and so we repeat it about 20 times. And when you breathe out the, let's say maybe you're going for 30 and you get to 28, you breathe it in, you breathe it out, you breathe it in. Number 30, then when you want to breathe out, you hold that breath inside of you. You don't breathe it out, you just breathe out a little bit and you do, and then you hold it for a while. And when you hold it for a while, what you would realize is that there's something inside of you that will be forcing you to breathe out. The reason is simply because your body wants to take out the oxygen, or sorry, the carbon. Your body is trying to fight a lot of things. And because your body is trying to fight a lot of things, you have to be aware that your body is trying to fight you breathing out. That is one part of consciousness, to be aware that I am a soul and everything I am is based off the universe, not me. This body is not really me. So if the universe can no more communicate with me, then I do not, this body cannot exist. So when you hold that breath for a while, for me, I can hold it for 2 minutes. So I can hold my breath after doing the breath work. I can hold it for 2 minutes. I can hold it for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Sometimes I try to go for 3 minutes. But what I can ask you to do is you can try it for 45 seconds if you're just starting, or you can hold it. If you can try for 1 minute, hold it. If it's 30 seconds, but I want you to let your body fight it. And when you breathe it out and when you hold it and you look at a time, for 30 seconds or 45 seconds or 1 minute, and then you breathe out, you are going to feel some tingling in your body. That means all the cells of your body begins to rejuvenate. In a sense, the cells of your body matters a lot to you. And a lot of us think that when we feed, we are just, this body is just the only body. We are not aware that there are cells within our body who also exist with us as humans. So when you hold your breath, you see all these cells begins to tingle inside of you from your head to your toes, because you have cells all over your body. And at the end of the day, when you can't hold your breath anymore, you breathe it out. So that is one awareness, to always know that I communicate with the universe and I am part of the universe and the universe is part of me. And the only reason why I exist is simply because I can breathe. Without my breath, this flesh cannot exist. My soul will be out of it. So this is one thing we need to pay attention to when we are meditating. So you can repeat, after you do it, you can repeat it over like maybe 3 or 4 times. And if you can do it 3 to 4 times, you will realize that any emotional baggage you have inside of you, maybe you are stressed and you don't even know the reason of your stress. Maybe you are having anxiety and you do not understand the reason why you are having the anxiety, and you are doing this breath work, then you will feel certain relief within yourself. And here is the mental psychological part of it. All these problems that are causing anxiety and depression and all these things to you are only happening to you because you are alive. The moment your life is at risk, those things does not matter anymore. So when you hold your breath after breathing about 20 times or 30 times, and you are holding the breath in and you're not breathing out, your body begins to understand that the thing that matters to me right now is my life, not those things that I am actually focusing on. So when your mind can start telling you that my life actually matters to me than every other thing that I think is causing problem to my life, then you are beginning to detach yourself from the situation of your life, and from the reality of life that all this drama is only happening to you because you are forgotten that you are a conscious being, and just being conscious is what actually matters. It's just like, for example, a lot of us do not understand our health until we fall sick. Then we start appreciating all the times that we have been healthy. But that's a long way, and it's not a good way of living your life. So when you pay attention to understand that even while I am healthy, I need to appreciate myself, I need to eat right, I need to take good care of my body, then you will realize that there are things that I actually want in my life, but those things are not the things that makes me everything in life. I am a being and I am growing within myself, and that is what matters to me. Please, if anything I've said before and you have been listening to me, if there's any question you want to ask before I move on to the next one, I would like you to ask the question. If you understand what I've been saying, please please click on like. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Do this. I will be giving you 30 seconds or 15 seconds to please like. When you like, I understand that you got everything I've been saying. Most of you have gotten what I'm saying. And if you don't understand, then I would like you to ask questions. I am here waiting. I have one like. Please do like. Please do subscribe. If you have any question, please let me know. Can I have 3 likes? And then I proceed. If I can have 3 likes, then I proceed with the next one. I have 2. It's remaining 1. Let someone like so we proceed. Okay. I have 2, and I think if those 2 people are actually committed to what I'm saying, then that means I'm making sense to them. Hopefully the other people learn to click on likes, or maybe they don't understand where their likes button on the video. Now that means you guys actually got what I'm saying. I said something earlier that the idea of meditation is not a profession. Nobody is a professional on meditation. The reason is that meditation simply means consciousness and awareness. Nobody is a professional on it. In the spiritual world, there's nothing like a professional or a career. There is only growth in it. So everything that I have analyzed right now, I have talked about you getting aware of your mind, getting aware of your body, and getting aware of the situations of your life. Now, I want you to also understand this, that because you are meditating does not mean that you are going to have the best moral character. It doesn't mean that you're going to be the best human being that walked the surface of this earth. Meditation does not mean holiness. Meditation has nothing to do with righteousness or sin, or you are acting like father or a priest. That's not what meditation is about. Meditation simply means that you are very aware of what you are doing, and you are aware of the whatever you're sowing by your actions, you're definitely going to reap it. You're so much conscious of what you do. And for example, I will put it out to you. I am one of a person who kind of acts like I can be very calm, and at the same time I can act as if I'm a little bit crazy. Now, when I'm acting like I'm a little bit crazy, when I use the word crazy, I don't mean I jump everywhere. I mean, maybe you might be saying certain things that is offensive, that you think is offensive, and I just keep smiling at you, and I keep laughing, and I might act as if I'm doing something else. The idea is simply that I am weighing you out without letting you know I'm actually weighing you out. And so when I do those things, I am very conscious of the outcome of my character to change you or your response. Or I know that whatever you are saying can make me react in a way. So I am putting myself in a different position, acting a different, strange way to make sure that everything you're saying doesn't make me offended, but rather it makes you look a little bit different from what you want to perceive yourself to be. Because whenever people come up with negative things, they want somebody else to feel that negativity. The idea for me is to detach myself and to distract myself. And for me to do that, if you tend to be calm and you try to act like you are holy, certain people will take advantage of you. But what you are doing is you are so conscious of everything you do, and that's the bone of contention. But here is the thing that I believe is more important. When you are becoming conscious, then the more you grow in your spirit by learning more things about consciousness. The first consciousness is that you can only be conscious of yourself and the attachment of you to the universe. So that means that when you breathe in, breathe out, and then you hold your breath for a while, and the cell of your body begins to tingle to fight you to breathe out, and you hold that breath for as long as you can, then you realize you are part of the universe. That means this body is just a shell. There's a soul inside of you. And then when you can understand that, automatically with time, you can also start seeing the fact that, oh, the same way I am, that is the way these other men are, these other women are, these other people within my communities, this is how they are. The difference is that I know these things, that I am part of the universe and they are part of the universe also, but they are not yet conscious and aware of it. I hope this makes sense. Now, what does that help you do? That means you can easily ignore most of the things people are doing to you because you know they don't understand why they are doing what they are doing. That means they are not conscious and they are not aware. Some people want the idea that when they want to when they want to meditate, hello, yeah, they are not at home. They've gone out. Yeah. When you want to meditate, you need to understand that you are not trying to impress anybody. And that is the problem a lot of people have in this space of meditation. When they want to meditate, they want the world to know that they meditate. Trust me, if my audience have not asked for me to show them my meditative practice, I wouldn't say anything about meditation. Now, for those of us who are just joining, please do subscribe and do like. There's a reason why I had to come to explain all this meditative practice to you. It's simply because when I speak to some of my audience, they ask me questions, and the question is like, how do you know the things you know? Are you a professor? Are you a professional on something? Do you have a career on something? Just because of the way they hear me speak. And so I make them understand that you do not necessarily have to go to school to be educated. Now, I'm not saying that there's no importance of institution and education, because for me to be able to speak the English language, it simply means at least I went to school. But most of the way I am able to know a lot of things in my life, and I write a lot of books. And the books I write is not that I want to publish them. I wrote those books because whenever I meditate, I have all kinds of inspiration, and I learn from that inspiration, because it just kind of, there are different dimensions to life. So when I get to a particular dimension when practicing, then I can write a lot of things. I can know the things that I never knew before. And I know this is kind of unbelievable to a lot of people, but that's my own reality. And I'm not here to convince anyone. But I think those people who have experienced me have certain conversations, they kind of wonder where the answers come from. And I'm like, the universe have the answers for many questions. The problem is that we are being detached from the universe, and everyone has the ability to do this. Some people think that for them to be able to know a lot of things, they have to go to a specific temple or to a particular place. I am only making you understand that I learned a lot of things through meditative practice, and I did not go to India. I hopefully pray one day that I would have the grace to go to India to maybe see at least. But I learned it mostly from the Indians, from Sadhguru and the rest of it. I am not their student in any way. It's even a very long time I listened to Sadhguru and the rest of it. But I've learned the most basic things and I've applied it, and it works for me. So when you make a decision you want to meditate, don't expect that you are going to get a result and you are going to transform instantly. It is like a seed. Meditative practice has to come like you are conscious that I want to know this thing, and it is like a seed in the ground. When you plant a seed in the ground and you begin to water it every day, you don't know exactly how it grows. What you know is when it begins to germinate. So some people would want to practice and immediately they want, oh, I did not hear anything. Oh, I did not see anything. Oh, my spirit did not transcend to many things. I can show you a particular meditation that can make you trip off right now, but I wouldn't do it here because I don't have a safe space. This is just an ordinary ground. If I do this particular meditation here, I would fall and I become unconscious. So that will be the end of our discussion today. But I will show you how it works. So if you want to do this particular meditative practice so that you can easily understand how your body is being connected to the universe, I will tell you that please, please, I'm begging you again, make sure you have beds around you. Make sure you have mattresses, foam around you when you want to do this particular meditative practice. I am saying this because I have once done this meditative practice over and over again, and I hit my face on glass in my house here, and there was blood all over my face. So I became very unconscious and then I became conscious. I could not write everything that I was able to grab at that particular time because there was blood all over my face. This has happened subsequently. So whenever I want to do this particular meditative practice, I stay close to a mattress. So I trip off and then maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute, I would come back. And once I come back, if there's any book around me, I can write a lot of things. You might do it and you may not have the answers, but you will feel something. And this is how the meditative practice goes. Put it in your head as I show you. I'm not going to do it exactly. So somebody, but then Reddy says, it's one, okay, in India, bro is teaching about yoga when I have had my lunch. Okay, this does not have anything to do with the time you feed. Meditation has nothing to do with the time you feed. Let me just teach you this. I will come back to those who are writing. Now, when you want to do this particular meditation, you have to stand straight. And when I say straight, is that you have to be standing very, very straight. And when you're standing straight, what you have to do is to do that breath work. You can do about 30 of it. And I want you to understand that your spine has something to do with the universe. Now, that means that if you are moving like this or you walk like this, you most likely might not be breathing much because there's something covering you. So if you put your body in the right position, open to the universe, psychologists will say that when you act like this or you bring your shoulder down, it simply means you have confidence. In the spiritual sense, you are opening your body to the universe. This is the reason why you realize that when people sleep on their bed and they are open like this, sometimes they feel something press them, simply because some of them will say sleepy apnea and the rest of it, but most likely we see it in the spiritual sense, like you can get visited if you're not sleeping correctly. I don't want to go into that particular side. So when you want to do this meditative practice, you stand straight and you breathe in and breathe out. I may tell you to open your leg a little bit, spread your leg a little bit, and then you do this breathing 30 times. And when you do this breathing, you have to breathe it this way. When I do this breathing, I feel it in this part of my body that is after my heart this particular, I don't know the name for it, so I'm just showing you this particular part. So I breathe it in, and when you can get to 30, even while you're doing the breath, you begin to feel a lot of things. Even while I just did this third one now, I can feel it already. If you can look at my eyes, if I do it about 10 times, I wouldn't be able to speak as much as I can right now. But you can do this like 30 times, and when you do it, then I don't know how to show you this. When you, the last one, you hold your breath. When you hold your breath, maybe I should turn my camera so you can, let me make my camera come down a little bit. Okay. So when you hold your breath, the last one, the last breath you have, the third one, when you hold it, yeah, well done. Yeah, good morning. Then you have to free your body this simple way. And when you free your body in this particular way, I know some of us would have been able to see people who get, there are these arts that shows people who are being, who receive a kind of inspiration by an art that seems like this. I don't know, it seems like this. Let me shift back. Something like this. Your hands are free. So, and you also understand that in there's a way people kind of talk about when the spirit is leaving the body. They show that the spirit leaves the body like this. So the idea is that you free your body this way in the last one, and you hold your breath. When you change your spine from the straight way after taking the 30 breath, and then you free your body, don't hold yourself, just free yourself a little bit on the 30th one. Hold your breath. Don't breathe that last breath out. Breathe a little bit out and then hold it. And then you shift your spine from this position to this position, and you free your hand and free your body. If you can do it, trust me, you wouldn't be part of this conversation for the moment, because you're going to experience something different. And whatever you experience, you can write it on my comment section. But please do it in a safer place, because you would not be conscious. Every human being has the ability to do these things. This is not a professional thing. The idea around it is that your body trips off and you get into a different dimension. It is a dimension that you do not necessarily have to take. You see, when you take weed, when you take DMT, when you take ayahuasca, all these things, your body can produce it. The problem we have is that we don't understand how our body can produce these experiences. The difference is that when you take it from a plant and you smoke it, or you take it from another place and you take it in, it is going to hold you down beyond the time that you want to be free. But in the aspect of you being a human being, if you can produce it with your own body, then you can easily get conscious on your own. So that means when you come out of it, like the weed thing that is going to slow you down, you are not going to be slowed down. You are going to have your right way of thinking. You can still think properly. You can still act properly. You are not under the influence, because you are using the chemicals in your own body. So that's for that. Let me go into what other people are saying right here. Matthew Wayne says, I want to share something with you. You can proceed. Isaac says, question and answer are from the same source. You're right. And Matthew says, the Lord Jesus is really real. He's alive. The Lord showed me the Holy Ghost and I felt its wonderful love. I'm being honest, people. Jesus loves you. Okay. That's from Matthew Wayne. Then he already says, account to Sanatana Dharma in Hinduism, we have to do meditation by keeping our tongue in nasal cavity and sitting in Padmasana and conch or breath enchants God. Now, it might be saying things I haven't experienced, according to Vinyl Reddy. And trust me, I tell you this every single time. Whatever I talk to you about is only my own experience. There are a lot of people who have gone towards more deeper dimensions than me. And I said this, that I am not a professional, and I do not also believe that there's a professional as long as meditative practice is concerned. There's only growth. When you grow from one level, you can grow to another level. The basic level I think that is more important is for you to be conscious, because a lot of things we do as humans today, we are unconscious of those things. So when you begin to meditate little by little, you are going to be aware that whatever I am doing to somebody else, this person is part of me. The reason why you don't know it is because you are not conscious. When you are very conscious, I can tell you this: if every human being is aware and conscious that all of us, as we exist on the surface of this earth, we are part of each other, we are all part of the universe, and the only thing that makes this shell of body to exist is simply because this body have been able to accumulate certain information, and that body has been able to accumulate certain information. But if everyone is aware, you don't necessarily have to teach anybody. Be good to your neighbor, love your neighbor as you love yourself, and take care of your brothers and sisters, because you naturally have become so conscious that as I am, that is how this other person is. The problem we have in today's world is that these things are absent, and everyone is thinking individualism, because we are now focused on the material world. And the third dimension most people talk about, a lot of people are just looking at the physical dimension. The third dimension is the spiritual dimension. And in the spiritual dimension, let me now make this very clear. If you truly can meditate, don't expect to get an answer. Get to understand what you are feeling. You pay attention to what you are feeling, how you are feeling, and why you are feeling what you are feeling. In the spiritual dimension, when you can move from your body and become spiritual, you can be conscious of the spiritual. In the spiritual dimension, there is no religion, there is no culture, and there is no tradition. The only reason why a lot of us are diving into all kinds of religion, all kinds of tradition, all kinds of culture, we are trying to enhance our spiritual parts. The problem is that we are focusing on the religion and we are taking our eyes off the goal of the spiritual things. If you become very meditative, if you become very conscious and aware, if you become spiritually inclined, you would understand that in the spiritual dimension, there is no culture, there is no religion, there is no tradition, there is no nation, there is no identity attached to any of it. The only time why people so much focus on religious aspect or traditional aspect or cultural aspect is basically because they themselves have not been able to get to that spiritual dimension. They are feeling something that they most likely cannot even interpret. So they are just saying, I am feeling this, I want you, my brother, to come feel this. It's just like me taking weed and I begin to tell everyone, come and take weed. When I take weed, I feel inspired. You might take that weed and you might not feel inspired. But if you can find your own way, and this is why for the spiritual journey is an individual journey. And because it's an individual journey, you have to practice this body to be able to get to that dimension. Once you can get there, nobody have to tell you love your brother as you love yourself. Nobody have to preach any gospel to you. You just definitely know all these things. Nobody have to tell you that if someone wants to give birth, this is how it is. Nobody wants to tell you that when you have a tree in your compound as beautiful as this, you just take knife and you start cutting down the trees. You become naturally conscious. Yes, you would have to do certain things just to be able to survive. I understand that part. But you wouldn't be so ignorant in what you are destroying in life. You will be conscious that this thing I want to cut, if I have to cut this leaf, it's basically because it's for my need. It's not because I just want to cut it. If you want to even eat an animal, you would know that there's an amount of what I can eat. If you want to take the life of an animal, you wouldn't just cut that animal without giving it any honor and respect, because that also has something unconscious part inside of them. I think that I have taught you the part of you meditating and taking the anxiety and depression out of your body and being conscious of why am I feeling the way I'm feeling. When you are meditating or when you are doing the breath work, trust me, you are going to be having all kinds of thoughts. All kinds of thoughts will be coming in your head. Why are they coming to your head? They are coming to your head because you are new to it. Number one, they are coming to your head because that is how you naturally think, but you don't know that's how you think when you are walking. The idea of the meditation is so that you can control your thoughts. But because you have not been in control of your thoughts for many years in your life, when you meditate to sit down, all kinds of thought begins to come just to take your body out of the normal position that you are in, because your body is not used to relaxing and settling with the universe. It's used to engaging with physical things, communicating, watching TV, watching phone, doing a lot of things. That's what your body has been used to. That's what your brain has been used to. So what you're trying to do is to communicate with you, is to make yourself in that particular position while those thoughts begins to come in. I would say when you start meditation, closing your eyes or opening your eyes does not matter in meditation. But if you close your eye as a beginner, it's good. The reason is because you stop seeing things that are distracting you. That is the idea for you closing your eyes. Closing your eyes is so you don't get distracted because you are new to it. When you get to a particular level, as you keep going with time, then you would realize that you can open your eyes and still meditate. In fact, you can be in a bus and you are meditating, and a lot of people would not be aware that you are meditating. Now, the idea of meditation is to continuously remind yourself that you are part of the universe. You are a soul. You are not this flesh. And then you would not take the things that are going on in your life. Maybe someone dies, maybe a house is broken. You won't take these things too serious that it causes unnecessary emotion inside of you, but you understand the universe better and how it works. Let me take some time to read some message. V appreciates what I said. Thank you very much. Venerady says India is not for beginners. Jane Rhodes says, isn't it hyperventilation? Venia Reddy says, come to India and visit Kashi. Okay. Isaac Yeboah Obuobi says, excessive stress kills the experience of meditation. I think that if you're open to the idea that you want to meditate, everything starts with the decision you want to make. If you make the decision that this is what I want to do for myself, I want to increase my consciousness, and I am telling you today, meditation, for you to be able to dive into that deeper dimension, it might not be something that you can do in the next 3 months. You have to be okay with the process. Don't just seek for the answer when you are meditating. The problem a lot of people have when they want to meditate is that they are seeking for answers. You don't seek for the answers, you seek for the paths to spirituality. And when you're seeking for the path to spirituality, it might take time. If you are dedicated, the universe will reveal itself to you. Meditative practice is part of it. Jesus, in the Christian world, meditates. A lot of people that have been great apostles and the rest of it, all these individuals, they do meditate. That's what I have for you today. I don't want to go into other parts of meditation. I just want to go to you with the simple one. Now, I said the first one, you can sit down and meditate. Trust me, it's not about how you cross your leg, how you bend your leg, how you do this. All this posture matters. But the first thing you have to do is to learn to sit down properly, put your spine well, and breathe and see everything you feel. Don't fight your thoughts. Don't fight what you are thinking. Don't try to stop yourself from thinking. When you're trying to stop yourself from thinking when you are meditating, then you're going to be having issues. Be seeing all the thoughts that is coming. Just understand that these thoughts will keep flowing because they are new to that kind of mind. After a period of time, if you don't fight those thoughts would not fight you. It's as simple. That is what I can come up with for you today. Hopefully, next week, Saturday, I'm also going to be diving more into the meditative practice. And thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening by 5:30 or 5 o'clock p.m. There's going to be a live video with me and Mr. Olubode Adiola. We are going to be speaking on a lot of things today. If you are chanced African time, 5 o'clock, 5:30 p.m., join me live. We are going to be having a deeper discussion, and you can ask any question that you actually have. Um, that's all the things I have for now. Thank you very much for everyone who has joined me. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Have a great day. Bye bye for now. Peace.